Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about epicycloid. So the second cycloidal curve of the cycloidal curves is epicycloid. So here the cycloidal curve forms on, so when the circle travels or when the circle rolls on the circumference of another circle, then the path traced out by a point on the circumference of the circle is epicycloid. See, for example, consider this is a circle which rolls on the another circle with some degree. So here we are considering one complete revolution of the rolling circle. Okay, so when the rolling circle rolls for one complete revolution which is equal to 360 degrees, then the path traced out by a point on the circumference of the circle. So here we are considering the point. If the circle starts rolling in a clockwise direction, the point P moves from P to P1 and P1 to P2 like that for one complete revolution of the rolling circle. Then the path traced out by the point is epicycloid. So let us discuss one problem on the epicycloid and let us see how the epicycloidal curve forms. So this is the question for the epicycloid. See, draw the epicycloid of a circle of 40 mm diameter which rolls on outside on another circle of 120 mm diameter for one revolution in a clockwise direction. So draw a tangent and normal to it at a point 95 mm from the center of directing circle. So here the diameter of the rolling circle is 40 mm and diameter of directing circle diameter is 120 mm. So first draw the circle of diameter 40 mm and divide the circle into number of equal parts, say 8 or 12. We can divide the circle into either 8 parts or 12 parts. So here consider the point on the circumference of the circle P. So from P, draw the radius of the directing circle. So here the diameter of the directing circle is 120 mm. Then the radius will be 60 mm. So from P, by considering the vertical diameter, draw the radius of directing circle and here name the point O. So this O1 is the center of directing circle and here C is the center of rolling circle. So from O1 as center and O1P as radius, draw the arc up to certain angle. So with O1 as center and O1P as radius, draw the arc up to certain angle. So here to close the portion of directing circle, we need to find out the angle theta. Theta is equal to 360 into radius of rolling circle by the radius of directing circle. So here capital R represents for rolling circle radius and small r represents for radius of rolling circle and capital R represents for radius of directing circle. So then 360 into 20 by 60. So 6 are 36. 6 into 20, 120 degrees of 6 into 20, 120 degrees of angle. So by taking O1P as a reference point, mark the 120 degrees of angle and close the arc which we drawn for directing circle and extend the line. Then after that divide this angle theta into number of equal parts which we have divided the circle. So here the circle is divided into 8 parts. So then divide the angle theta into 8 parts by using angle bisecting method. So first bisect the angle theta and again bisect this angle, and this side also bisect. So you all know how to bisect the angle. Then we got the 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again bisect these 4 parts to get the 4 parts into 8 parts, which is equal to the number of divisions on the circle. So now we got 8 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So name the parts as 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, 5 dash, 6 dash, 7 dash and 8 dash. Next, with O1 as center and draw the arc from the division 1 on the circle. So with O1 as center and the distance from O1 to 1 on the circle as radius, draw the arc up to here. And next, with O1 as center and O2 division as radius, draw the arc as showing in the figure. Next, with O1 as center and O1C as radius, draw the another arc which is used to mark the center distances C1, C2, C3 up to C8. Next, with O1 as center and 3 as radius, O1 3 as radius, draw the arc as shown in figure. With O1 as center, again O1 and 4 as radius, draw the another arc. Yes. Next, after that extend the points 1, 1 dash onto the center arc C. Next 2, 2 dash to C. Next 3, 3 dash, 4 dash. So to generate the center points C1, so here C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 and C8. So we have generated the center points to draw the epicycloid. So next, with 20 mm as radius and C1 as center, draw the arc on the curve 1, curve passing through the 1. So this is the arc or the curve passing through 1, passing through the 1. So now from C1 cut the arc on the arc 1 with C2 as center and 2 line 20 mm as radius, cut the arc on the line 2, and with C3 as center and 20 mm as radius, again cut the arc on the arc which is passing through the point 3. Next, from C4 as center, so repeat the process for all the 8 points, which we get the arcs as shown in the figure. So now give the points. This is P and P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7 and P8. Now join all the points from P1 to P8. So this is the curve epicycloid. Now draw a tangent and normal to the curve at a point of 95 mm from the center of the directing circle. So from the center of the directing circle, take 95 mm as radius and O1 as center. Draw the arc on the curve. So draw the arc where the 95 mm distance meet the epicycloid curve. So let's say that it meets somewhere here and name the point as M. Okay, with 20 mm as radius, with 20 mm as radius and M as the center, draw the arc for the center line C. And now join this M and the intersection point on the center arc, and then from this point O, join O and O1. Okay. Next, identify the intersection point of line O1 and the directing circle arc. So this is the intersection point. Name the point as N and draw a line from N to M and extend to produce the normal N dash, and then draw a perpendicular line to this N dash to produce the tangent T dash. So this is the epicycloid curve.